Several days before Irene hit, National Grid was tracking the storm from its Eastern Regional Control Center. Now, chances are you don't know where the building is because you're not supposed to.
Right. It's a secret spot. Since 9/11, utility companies and the federal government have decided it's best to keep those exact locations sort of under the radar. But National Grid gave me an exclusive look inside the building where they prepare for events like Irene. The Eastern Regional Control Center for National Grid is calm and quiet today. It's what the utility company calls a blue sky day. A rare time when the radar screen used to track storm cells in all seasons is all clear. How often is the screen clear?
Not often enough.
It's days like today that help prepare the workers here for the times that will test them. And there have been plenty.
Most overwhelming I've seen was probably Hurricane Irene.
Ray Joyce says the week of August 28, 2011 is a time everyone here will always remember. In this room, where the staff monitors the weather and any and every disturbance and potential problem with the electric system, they were tracking something big.
And as it came up the coast into New York State, we were tracking it probably at least a week to a week and a half in advance.
As Irene approached Pennsylvania, Ray and his team assembled an army of trucks and line crews. The electric teams converged on this area, waiting for what would turn out to be one of their biggest challenges ever.
Widespread outages, but mixed with flooding.
How much does an Irene turn into a teaching tool for you guys as you move forward?
It's quite a bit.
More than 150,000 National Grid customers lost power when Irene slammed into the capital region. Workers like Bill Flaherty were in communities day in and day out for weeks on end.
If you go back to the Rotterdam Junction, which I know you were at, Jessica, I mean, you saw the situation down there. People had to deal with the mud in the basements. The flooding is definitely posed the biggest challenge.
That's because the crews can't always get to the equipment with water in the way. The Mohawk River swept away several National Grid transmission towers during the storm and badly damaged substations.
We had a substation in Amsterdam along the Mohawk River. That substation was flooded. We are now building a new substation up in the town of Florida up on a higher ground.
Keith McAfee says that new substation, along with new natural gas pipeline beneath the Mohawk River, is all part of a $1.6 billion investment the company has made in upstate New York over the past 5 years. National Grid says it's an investment not only to improve the power lines, but to improve the lines of communication with the customer. After Irene, National Grid started doing more door-to-door visits, helping people with things other than getting the lights back on.
Provide dry ice, provide water, provide supplies, mops, flashlights, the kind of things that are just going to get people through the day.
Back at the control center on this blue sky day, each day is about preparing for the next power problem, being ready whether it's a storm, a fire, or a squirrel that causes the interruption.
Well, every season brings a different challenge.
But they say every challenge is a chance to do better for the customer. And once again, just the difference between that day, what it must have been like for them, and the day that I was in there, the blue sky day as they call it. They said, come back on a day it's a little crazier.
Or even if a squirrel shows up.
Right, you never know what it is.